Hey, all my listeners and saints. Today we're going to talk about the family zombie obsession. This should be good. On the evening hours of March 24, 2014, the local police department responded to the residence of Edwin Samuels Jr. We'll call him Jr. And then there's Edwin Samuels III and Jonathan Samuels, which is the youngest son. The third is the second oldest son, and then Junior is the father. Now, there's also a half sister and another child that doesn't really get mentioned too much in this because they weren't involved, but I just wanted to bring them up. There is some body cam footage. This is the house. This is in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. They were zombie survivalists. The son that committed the crime said it was his dad that was the survivalist, but they all had tools of the trade, if you will. They even had a notebook on how to survive, which I have a book actually written. So I don't know what to think about that. I'm not sure about zombies. I'm not going to say they're real or ever will be real, but if they are, I have a book. I know a guy. And this is a blood trail. This right here would be, we're going to call him the oldest son just for the purposes of this video. And this is the oldest son, Eldon, um, his room. And this is the blood trail that was going kind of out of the room. This is some of the paraphernalia that they had. This is Eldon in the back of the police car after he got detained. This is him whenever they were doing the interview after they cleared the crime scene and seen everything that was going on. If you know his body language, he's sitting cross-legged right here with his arms crossed. He's doing all he can to block himself from these two detectives. And he actually knows this detective from school. This was more of the paraphernalia that they had, and I use the word paraphernalia because it's the best word that describes it. This is a picture of body cam of the police going into the house. Um, if I'm not mistaken, this would be going into the bedroom. I'm not going to be 100% on that. This is the kitchen. This is more of the body cam as they're going into the house. And then, of course, him in the back of the police car. This is Eldon's room right here. They moved from California and they were in this house as emergency shelter from being homeless. So it was kind of like they were given a place to stay. Um, Here's a knife sheet. And I don't know if you are familiar with the different types of shelters and everything, but there is a lot of resources out there. Believe it or not, contrary to YouTube people begging for stuff on here, I will say that, or needing homes and honesty, there is a lot of places to stay and resources to be used. This is the shotgun. Go sub up to explore with us. I got some of the pictures from him. And I think this was the living room. Now, to me, this looks like a body bag. I'm assuming maybe that this was the father in the body bag. I don't know. I don't know if this is some sort of zombie thing, but it does have a case number on there and it has the father's name, another number, and then a date of birth. So this is the machete that's going to be used later on in the crimes. This is Eldon. He's a looker, ladies. This is some of the music you listen to. I'm not a fan of blaming music or video games for children's actions, but the key that he had on him fit a locker at school, and this was just one of the things that was in there along with a backpack. There was a heater going inside of this here, so because they asked Eldon, had his father been into the little trailer thing, and he said, yeah, he had been in there, or he didn't know if he had been in there, and they said the heater's on. They said, and he said, okay, well, I guess he had been in there at some point. Said his father was outside shooting at zombies. Um, there is neighbors that have made videos and stuff talking about how these people would never speak to them and the whole time they were there, how weird they were, how creepy they were. And to me, if you're close enough to be able to say hi to your neighbor, then I get it, it's Idaho, but to me, it still seems maybe like a city limit. And that, what is he doing, shooting a gun out there and nobody calling the law about that. But the law had been out there and along with ambulances many times before. This is Eldon Samuel Jr. This is Jonathan. This is Eldon the third. Now, Jonathan was autistic. And by the way, Eldon talks to, I don't want to say to a larger degree, but just like most autistic children, they're hyperactive. They don't comprehend, hey, there's two candy bars and I can only eat one, but eat two of them. They don't comprehend things like that. And my granddaughter's autistic, and not on a high level or high part of the spectrum, but you can still see little things. Like she's got this hyperactive about her, like I swear, like she's just constantly going and doing, and this imagination and everything. And of course grandma feeds into it too. So, but anyway, um I'll get to that in a minute. You can see he leans in, he's reading him his rights right now. And personally, I didn't see the whole thing. It doesn't show the whole thing of him reading his rights, but he's like, hey, do you want to talk to me? Like I can talk to you. To me, that's not reading your rights, and I'm not saying nothing about the detectives or anything. I didn't see the whole video, but to me, reading your rights is saying, hey, if you talk to me, it can be used against you in a court of law. And if you don't want to talk to me, you need to get a lawyer. In Idaho, um, children that are underage do not have to have a parent or a guardian or a lawyer with them to be questioned unless they specifically ask for one. So don't come to Idaho fucking around. This is the medication that the father was on because Eldon the third said that when he took the medication that he became this crazy madman that beat on him. This is the 45 that he shot his father with. This is some more paraphernalia. I'll just say he doesn't have a lot. And there's a mention of the cop giving Eldon handcuffs at school, and I wonder if this was the handcuffs. I mean, you can buy handcuffs anywhere, so I don't know. I just thought it was kind of odd that he would give him a pair of handcuffs. I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood. But this was the machete in the sheath. This is a knife. All these come into play sooner or later. Again, very familiar. And this is Jonathan underneath the bed, obviously blurred out. And we'll get to why we're seeing the bed looking in this manner. This is where Eldon took his foot to hold up the mattress to try to get to his brother. Okay, let me just throw it out there. Okay, Eldon, this is Junior. We'll call him Junior, and then we're going to say Eldon. Okay, Eldon says that his dad came in and he was pushing on him, but he cannot distinctly pinpoint a place of where he hit him, which was very odd. I think if somebody hit me, I would know where they hit me. And so then he shot him, and he laid there, and then the father started crawling with a shotgun and machete, and I think a knife towards Jonathan's room trying to kill him. Well, he said that he was trying to protect Jonathan from his father. And so at first he didn't admit it, but then he shot him again. And let me see. Let me get some of my notes because I'm just going off what I remember. Said whenever Junior was shot, he said, "You killed me." He was crawling towards John. That's what they call Jonathan. That he was drug addicted, leaned against a desk in John's room. And we'll get there in a minute because none of this is even remotely true. This was the blood path where he had come out of the room going towards Jonathan's room. Oh, come on. We were working so well. But let me give you a little bit of information while we're waiting on a picture to pop up. The truth of the matter is that for some reason, Eldon said his dad hit him and he had been abused before. And so he shot him, and then he started crawling towards Jonathan's room, and he leaned up against the desk and he shot him 2 more times in the chest and 1 in the head. And then he stuck the shotgun under the bed and started shooting Jonathan. He shot him. Let me get the facts straight on this because there was a lot. I think he shot him 3 times with the shotgun. He shot him quite a bit with the shotgun. He shot him quite a bit with the handgun. And he moved the thing, the mattress, trying to get him to get out because he wouldn't get out. And he even tried to use the machete to swat at him, and it hit him in the legs and stuff. And so whenever Jonathan started crawling out towards his dad, he was cutting him in the back of the head, and he was cutting him in the arms. And regretfully, Jonathan and Junior died. And that was the actual case of it. He showed no remorse. He said that if his brother hadn't been autistic, that their parents, he wouldn't have needed, the dad wouldn't have needed medication, and the parents wouldn't have been the way they were and broke up. And he was concerned about going back to California. And so Jonathan was just the bad guy. He had to go. If he went, then everything would be okay. I don't know what people think. Let me kill everybody and then everything will be okay. No, you're going to prison. Everything's not going to be okay. It's stupidity. I don't understand it, and probably never will. But this is a note that was found in the residence. I'm assuming a school note, because he got a 10 out of 10 on it. And it said that the detective asked and said, "What do you think should happen to you since you've done this?" Once they finally got the story, he said, "Well, I want my Xbox and I want to go back to California." And then he changed it to "I should die." So it's craziness. John was yelling, "You shot my leg." He shot him in the legs 5 times. He used a machete on him. He used the knife. Whenever he picked up the mattress, he was stabbing him with a knife. I don't know how this child survived as long as he did. These are mainly blood stains. There's his Xbox that he wanted. This was the mother. He said that his father could be violent when he was on those drugs. It was like Ambien, and not saying that he couldn't be violent on Ambien, but I don't know what the other ones were. I'm assuming maybe this is one of them. Something I don't know what that is. It says a muscle relaxer. This is some of the drawings out of the zombie book. And this is the Ambien. This is the camper. More paraphernalia. That's his room. Now, this is some of the pictures that were drawn by Jonathan. And this is, if you look, this is his brother Eldon. And I didn't put them all in there, I just put a few. And this was the handgun that the father had. And at this age, his frontal lobe is not developed, so decision making is not the best thing. This is why we give usually youth under age 18. He was charged as an adult, but usually they get a second chance because their brain is not fully developed. He got let me see here, 20 fixed years for first degree murder of his brother with 5 probation, and second degree murder, 10 years fixed with 5 years probation for his father. He shot at John after removing the bed. He stabbed him. The gunshots from the shotgun and this regular shooting. And as he crawled towards his dad, Eldon, he chopped him with the machete in the back of the head and the neck and on the arms and stuff. This kid was stabbed with the knife 15 times, and he was stabbed with the machete 30 times, it says. Um, this concludes this little episode here. This is very tragic. Let me see. Let's see if I can share real quick.
Convicted of killing his father and brother. Late this afternoon, a judge sentenced 16-year-old Eldon Samuel to 20 years in prison. KXLY4's Allie Norton working for you tonight. She was in Coeur d'Alene and Alia. The judge says he was really focused on protecting the public from this teen.
The Honorable Benjamin Simpson said that this was a case that kept him up at night, wondering what he was going to do with this young man. On one hand, he said that he couldn't blame him for what he did because of his upbringing, but on the other hand, he says that what he did was completely unexcusable. Now, the biggest question today in court was whether to send the 16-year-old to juvenile detention facility or an adult prison. The defense wanted a blended sentence, which would put Samuel in a juvenile detention center up until he was 21, and then he would be reevaluated for either probation or adult prison. Prosecutors wanted to see him go straight to an adult prison, away from juveniles who were serving time for far less serious crimes. A tearful Tina Samuel begged the judge to side with her son's defense, saying that he's all she has left and that she would give her life in the place of her son if she could. After nearly 7 hours of testimony to help the judge with his decision, he opted to put him in adult prison for a fixed term of 20 years.
It's good to have what we feel like is an appropriate result, and I would hope not to see another case like it, for sure.
Weeks of trial, Samuel stayed silent. Now today we finally heard from him, though the judge would not allow us to record any sound from the hearing. Samuel said to the judge, "I am not the person I was 2 years ago," adding, "I feel like a whole new person, but that does not excuse what I did." He said that he would agree with whatever sentence that would be handed down to him, and now it's not
And
entirely certain right now
the
where
bad
he
part is that I actually believe this kid. One, his frontal lobe has started filling in more, but he felt that there was a lot of abuse in the home. There was a lot of drugs. There was a lot going on. I mean, you know, it's kind of one of those you can see both sides, but you can't go around killing people, though. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I'll show you the court docket. I'm not going to read it by far. I don't read court dockets unless I have to. But of course, it was the appeal. I don't know why he would appeal. That was a sweet deal. But it goes in the detail on what happened. And if you are interested in that, you can find it at cases.justa.com and then Idaho. And just type in the name. Again, here's court docket, a little smaller. This is just the court docket of the state versus Eldon, where they said we're going to put your ass in jail. But I appreciate you joining me today and all of my hair funky things. Anyway, I appreciate you joining me with this case. It wasn't one that I wanted to really cover because of the people that was affected in it. And I mean, each case is like that, but the autistic child, you know, that really hits home sometimes. But anyway, thank you again, and I appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.